Hmm, where do I start? Okay. Resident Evil is an iconic franchise lasting 30 years in the making. The series as a whole was inspired by the game Sweet Home, a horror 2D gem released by Capcom in 1989. Was it always supposed to step back and hand over the limelight to something much more terrifying? Unhinged? Sick? Well, I can hear someone walking. Here? No. Oh no. Welcome to the world of
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil was first showed to the public on March 22nd, 1996 in Japan under a very different name.
Biohazard.
The name switch for the global release came as an idea as not to copy the name of an existing music group, and so Resident Evil was birthed. The name was developed between 1994 and 1996 by Team Horror under creative directions of big names such as Tokuro Fujiwara and Shinji Mikami. The game features a big, seemingly abandoned mansion in the middle of a forest, but oh, do the horrors lurk in these old architecture shadows they do. This is probably the reason why that iconic head turn is still the cover of Resident Evil Director's Cut. The eerie atmosphere leaves a mark on one's souls forever. The first entry features a group of elite armed force enter a mansion in search of the origin of the bizarre cannibalistic murders taking place in the area. We enter the shoes of Jill Valentine, the master of unlocking, and Chris Redfield, a Hankomatic with a big gun. Throughout the story, both characters encounter respective challenges and try to reach their goal, expose the bad. The game offers a very dramatic, catharsis-inducing Hollywood finale with the rocket launcher hit for the venue. Interestingly, the original game contains characters speaking English with Japanese subtitles. Talk about immersive narration.
No thanks, bro.
The productions that followed enticed a similar gameplay, storytelling, and production pacing as its predecessors, hit up with a fresher Resident Evil remake in 2002. It was not until Unholy Inspiration hit the game studio in 1999. It was not until Devil Mode cried. It was not until we escaped that damn library. Yes.
Resident Evil 4.
It's what I'm talking about. Resident Evil 4 is a timeless masterpiece loved by many and hated by very few. It is no wonder Capcom put so much effort into remaking this hallmark compared to other entry remakes. This campy and action-heavy roller coaster ride has been living in the hearts of Spanish Towns enthusiasts ever since 2005. Biohazard 4 saw the light of day on January 11, 2005 via GameCube. It was a major shift from the well-known fixed camera previous entries, as well as enticed more action gameplay. The development team actually visited Spain and its numerous regions, the Basque region for instance, to acquire an embodied idea of what the setting should be. There are many mountains and hills, not so silent, going throughout the country's lands. The development of this gem was rocky as walking up the Colorado mountains after 2 bottles of whiskey. The first version of the game included wild gameplay with a very Japanese blade and design and came out to become Devil May Cry. This version was scrapped. The next feat on recreating what was supposed to be a new reimagination of the series was what is known as the Castle version. This idea revolved yet around our fan favorite Leon Sexy Kennedy on a US force mission to raid and take down Umbrella HQ in Spain, located in a castle. The conglomerate was then to use their new bioorganic weapon known as the Black Fog, a viral haze killing and mutating every encountered victim. There are clips showing Leon fighting it in order to make it out alive. In this version of the game, Leon meets a young girl who was experimented on by the evil Anti-Rain Company and who has a defending dog that has superpowers. I guess I can see where it went. Apart from the second build having ideas about ancient civilizations, the third version, known as Hookman, included assets from previous builds and added a piece in which Leon would run away from a ghastly figure carrying a hook as their arm, pushing onto the player from paintings and sometimes walls. The player could not really do anything to those ghosts. The scene was inspired by the Winona Ryder starring 2000 horror movie Lost Souls, in which devil incarnation must be stopped. Like I said, very complex development. The last version before the original RE4 was the mysterious zombie version. Not much is known about this build, although it is said to include enemies called Dabamen, meaning stock people. They eventually turned into ganados. After much work and a 5-year development cycle, assets and ideas were reorganized in creations like Ganados, an ancient civilization, the castle underground, a parasite, wolves, a young girl, a US mission, and hallucination were utilized. The Silent Hill-inspired dolly cam and a formula more faithful to the original entries were abandoned and traded for new, bold ideas and the need for something new. A lot of people were slowly becoming tired of the old formula. Capcom had to act. After many demos and builds, we finally received a good and ready for Resident Evil. Resident Evil 4 follows a story of Leon S. Kennedy on a US government mission to save the president's daughter, who had been kidnapped by an unknown individual. The plot of the game starts in fall of 2004, 6 years after the events of the Raccoon City incident, which resulted in the whole city being destroyed with a bomb. Leon is being escorted by 2 Spanish cops, Mario and Nubi, to a remote location in a mountainous region of Spain next to a sea. After being complimented on his sense of humor, Leon is locally invited to inspect the location with great help from his escorts. They will watch the car. Soon after Leon leaves the vehicle, he meets a plaga-infected ganado and has to fight them off. This is the moment that changes in the remake, as in the remake Leon leaves the car to look for Mario, who went out to Nature's Call, and in the original he just leaves the car. I will try to mix those canons and portray a cohesive story. Good luck! A gloomy morning invites us to find a lead to the missing girl. We leave the car and head down a trail where a hunter's lodge is placed and waits ready to show its dark secrets. Unbeknownst to us, a vile cult is the evil resident of the structure. After we enter the seemingly quiet building, we can see a weird, double-crossed crucifix covered in blood on one of the room's beds, with a signage reading, "Judgment is nigh." Having seen horrible things before, we choose to carefully inspect the rest of the premise. Opening a door welcomes us to a person standing and acting as if they're sleepwalking, muttering sentence parts and generally behaving in an unhinged way. Leon goes to ask, "Busco policía, vino aquí?" Translated to, "I'm looking for a policeman, has he been here?" We do not get a straight answer, however, we get a lot more, a machete straight to our head, but we are able to block the offender and rebounce them onto the ground, breaking their neck. Upon collecting the basement, obviously, key, we navigate down a dark hell into the Frankenstein straw laboratory. We can find dead Mario in there, and through his radio, the other cop is trying his best at calling for backup. It is, however, too late. The situation is beyond out of control, and this is just the beginning. We must act now. After getting upstairs and locking ourselves in a room with a plan wall, we contact our mode of operation, Hunnigan. We are confirmed that Ashley is being kept in his village, and we arrange our objective of finding a windmill to take a lead. We can see a familiar face just outside of the first quest. It's calm, steady, and happy. We can almost feel home. Almost. There lies a typewriter and a beautiful, heavenly music. More than music is heard while trying to catch a breath just for a moment. Serenity. As if all worries disappeared, as long as we're here. Once we are safe again and occasionally want to stack up on deluxe edition extra weapons, we navigate through a footpath and reach a square eventually. In a 2005 original version, we can see this village square quite calm and regular, with villagers tasking themselves on daily duties, using farming tools and casually brushing sweat off their forehead or having a quick word between chores. However, the 2023 remake of my favorite game prefers a more brutal, gauche approach. After we pass the large doors with enemies' heads pushed onto protruding metal spikes atop, we are greeted incognito with a scene of burning the other police officer alive. Despite his desperate and inhumane shrieks for mercy and begs of no's and pleases, the lunatic crowd ceases their daily duties and prays in unison, with their arms open broad to the unholy deity of this godforsaken land. This is yet another example of how much darker and hardcore the remake portrays the events of the fourth installment. There is little to no more of the cozy campiness, funny, fresh attitude, and a feeling of familiarity fades with the last seconds of the victim's life burnt away. You will not be led away. You will not play a game. You will die here, burned or stabbed alive, and you will enrich the local madness with your corpse decomposure. After witnessing the sacrificial murder, we must take on the entirety of the main village residents, swarming on the protagonist like locusts or mad dogs. We may enter the tower much like in the original, but hey, the remake status will make the boards collapse, so good luck. The Titanic of this set piece is the iconic Dr. Salvador, the chainsaw guy, who will haunt us through this game almost like Nemesis couple years prior. The plague of muttering, evil peasants, a chainsaw massacre with a potato bag on his head, and your anxiety will be on your ass for about 3 minutes until a bell will ring. La campana. Tenemos que salir. Is it prayer time? No. Where's everyone going, bingo? This fiery introduction proves that even though survival horror is the hallmark of the franchise, action and side quests, as well as tradesmanship, will play a huge role here. Get ready to become a cook, Jula, and Robin Hood. After Leon crosses a farm and gets past that part where you have to press X to run away, much Matrix way from a boulder, we find ourselves again at a group fight, this time at the Lakeside Settlement, an area that allows us to backtrack once or twice. Upon hearing a strange banging coming from a fisherman's shack, we enter the underground room with a wiggling bag. What a treasure lays there? Only diehards will know. We see Louis Serra, a very complex and arguably the best character of the game. On forts, Leon is soon knocked out and taken. The place we wake up in is the part we learn how to operate the knife. We can use it like in the original, yet the refreshed version allows us to also sneak by NPCs and kill them in silence, as well as parry punches, cutting hands off, knife attacks, alongside bullets, arrows, etc. I wouldn't recommend testing it with a Gatling gun. After we retrieve our stuff and are invited by the one and only merchants,
Over here, stranger.
we can trade items for pesetas, a local currency. We can sell stuff we don't need, or in order to check a request. Or we can redeem the beautiful spinels for items available only via this product. One of the miracles we may receive by collecting spinels is the handgun that allows us to use laser sight and penetrate 5 enemies with 1 bullet as Punisher. We collect spinels by completing side quests, simply known as requests. One of them include shooting down blue cult medallions, selling snakes, demolishing graves, or, my personal favorite, disgracing a noble descendant's heirloom family portrait by throwing an egg at it. I will always keep my hitting occult stand with the developer's pictures. Anyway, we may also repair our stuff and maximize stats by perfecting the weapon's power, capacity, or range. The cherry on top for weapon modification is the exclusive upgrade that can be attained via payment or obtaining an exclusive upgrade ticket for an ungodly amount of spinels. Some of them include infinite ammo or double critical shot power. What are you buying? It's a question well known from the iconic 2005 Merchant, now reprised in 2023. The tradesman, also a pirate, will offer us healing items, weapon add-ons such as scopes, gunpowder, and jewels.
Ruby's all rubbish, it makes no difference. The price, well, that's our choice to make.
These lines and casual and warm dialogue makes the merchant a friend, a helping hand, and often a lifesaver. It's good to have someone to look out for you when you're out there stunting. After our first real date, we navigate to a small camp where we obtain a cog to get back to the main square and find Ashley. On the go, we meet our favorite Dr. Salvador and visit the village chief's house. After we obtain the insignia key that opens a lot of doors around here, we are ambushed by Vitores Mendez himself. I mean, that's kinda obvious. We exploded his backyard, shot dead a shitting servant, and are waddling in his bedroom. A ghost of the past saves us. Again. After a tea with the local wolves, we enter the city hall that pictures perfect what the cult is like. Mysterious mist, skulls, leader holy paintings, all coming in one vibe of unholy sanctity. After a clearing, Leon finally makes his way to the church, a place that Ashley might be held. Upon reaching the gate, an insignia key is needed to open a big door. We learn that the key is hidden in the caves by the lake housing a big monster, the Lago. We obviously just go there. Once we get to the lake, we can cross it with a motorboat, but please don't shoot at the water. Do it. The Lago boss fight is the most demanding emotionally. Having to evade logs and debris, trying to keep boats HP, and maneuvering off not to be swallowed alive is hell of a stunt. The mutated salamander will go underwater after a time only to regenerate its health. There are typically 3 stages, but it can be extended. After Leon is done with the monster and falls down due to fatigue, what looks like 1 foot of water, a new enemy type is introduced, the twisty tentacle head Guadagna, meaning scythe. Those guys have a range. The next part is exploring the caves. The thing we must obtain is the special kind of key that unlocks the church door. After fighting off a group of maniacal cultists, and her tentacles, we may go back to the church or try to stay at the venue and enjoy the place. This is one of the most awesome locations in the whole game. The burned ship in the middle of the lake, stranded to its lone demise, hiding a treasure and a gun that is not called Blue 8. All too good to be true. The rain tenderly hitting the water surface as if we transported to another place.
It's a thing of beauty, isn't it?
We are offered the opportunity to reach a small underground cave in which we can get a treasure. We can also take an underground passage via our motorboat and break some barrels, pick up a fallen treasure, or take a look at the merchant's hideout from a different perspective. The possibilities are endless, and it is here that we can acquire our first golden egg. We can keep it and use it, sell it, or do something else. This is a request, by the way. One of many heavenly things about this game is the shooting range that is available in various merchant shops locations. It is stylized after Pirate's Fun Place, or Fur. The poster on the wall is very cute. As a fun fact, if you come here with Ashley, she will sit on top of a barrel and cheer you up, just like she did in 2005. Anyway, if she falls down, she will be okay if she lands on her. Upon coming back to the church and opening the front gates with a mechanism that should not be there, Leon enters a beautiful yet modest church and may see the world through the beautiful colored glass next to the altar. This place has a soul. "Ashley Graham, are you in here?" says Leon with a professional agent voice. There is no response. Just like always, we find a ladder that leads us upstairs and into a room at the right side of the lifting. "Don't come any closer," we hear. Ashley is ready to defend herself. After being transported 4 times, that's a good call. Leon informs our little subject that he is there to rescue her, but she must oblige and be quiet. She runs off to a window, possibly looking for her pink flip BlackBerry 2007. Once Leon leaves the broom cupboard, they can see a medieval mob looking for them outside the church. The fanatical crowd chants on. We can see a vision of the cult leader commanding the whole community to pursue us and bring unto us salvation. I've never been religious, but even a fucking nun with GTFO baby, Baby Eagle and Condor 1 managed to escape the temple via back window, and they must be careful in a run towards excommunication. After some rocky encounters at the graveyard and nearby the town hall, they managed to reach the big mansion by the bridge. This is where a butchery takes place. Leon tries to hold the village away with the help of fan favorite Louise. With the SG handgun or Punisher and the Red 9, they are able to temporarily hold them off. However, they escape the premises and continue onto a slippery stone path. This is where we learn that Ada is here on a mission to get something very valuable to a certain Balbert Pesker. After this section, Leon and newly acquired Ashley pass a checkpoint, and through a settlement they enter a butchery. It is here where Leon fights Vitores Mendez, the village chief and priest, the first boss whose eye grants access to the next portion of the game. After kicking his ass or whatever it is, we exit the structure and head into the castle, a castle that arouses suspicion, a place that changes you. This part plays a little differently in the original than the remake. In the original, we shoot enemies and then find our way up. A truck is driving towards us, and if we're lucky, we can shoot it down, then go towards the gate and use Village Chief's eye to, wait for it, scan it with a laser reader in order to open a castle gate. In the remake version, we simply leave the slaughterhouse, go up a trail, and go through a drawbridge to the castle grounds. Both versions are quite similar, but are executed in a different way. The castle is the part where it all began, started, and will end. After a quick fire with the new enemy, Zealots, we enter the audience chamber, or Sala de Audiencias. Upon witnessing mind-blowing, old, classic architecture, we can sense something big, powerful, and breathtaking. There is mist everywhere, and the room seems to bear a special kind of purpose.
A most warm welcome to my castle. Such a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance, Mr. Kennedy.
We meet Ramon Salazar, the eighth clockwork Castellan of this magnificent architecture. He is a short figure beneath which rise two monsters known as Red Robe and Black Robe. They stand tall, at least twice human height, and look at us with big, red, glowing eyes. This is a very original, creepy, and shocking reveal. We learn that Ramon looks like he's up or down with age, but he's merely 20 years old. It is his unnamed illness and a plague infection that made him appear in such odd way. He, like all high-ranking individuals in the area, was given the dominant species of the parasite, which allows him to maintain self-consciousness. The eighth count has been reigning over the area for quite a while now, and is a critical reason for what is happening right now. It was him and his gentle persona that was fooled into the evil that is committed. It is the pivotal point in a story. After we decline handing over Ashley to those freaks, a couple armed zealots are sent to end us. I can already see that happening. We go through a deco room to hear Salazar's messages about how we're gonna die and everything. We navigate through the water hall, the most challenging room in Resident Evil 4. Some may say the antechamber is harder, but I highly doubt it. We must retrieve a wheel, go down to get one more wheel, and then go back up forward and make Ashley turn two wheels in two opposite spots in the chamber while defending ourselves from enemies on ground and smashing down many zealots running up the platform with a sniper rifle to not lose our goal. After she's done, we may run over hidden, black liquid elevated, red carpet platforms into the courtyard. We were supposed to meet Louise there, who is an ex-Umbrella researcher and occult scientist who escaped the venue and who is willing to help us eradicate the plagas inside Leon and Ashley. The cult's objective is to take over the world, and they need Ashley to do that, one by one, piece by piece, to a castle. He is not there. We go through the courtyard to the next area, and Ashley is being taken control of by Sadler because Plaga allows remote control. She runs away, and we are left isolated with a very big, wide, and impenetrable garden door. While trying to find a way around that impenetrable door, we go through the winery and meet the Red Cloak.
Gloria a las plagas! Gloria a las plagas!
A higher-ranking zealot enemy possessing the ability to summon the Plaga outside of the host's body with a red flame. We're introduced to the next Plaga mutation, Mandibula, a monster that can one-shot you. After we get his scepter, we may go through the castle battlements and into the back door of the castle gardens into a maze.
You can stop right there, Leon. Wouldn't make me use this, would you?
Well, after 6 years, that is one hell of a greeting, Ada.
You don't seem surprised. Interesting.
Once we reunite with Ashley, we enter the very beautiful area that precedes the ballroom. It is Art Deco, very decorative, and houses an art gallery, dining hall, and a night museum. Without much explanation, we must enter all three rooms to receive an animal head and put it onto the statue in the main hall. This is the moment we are separated from Ashley again. Once Ashley runs off and later hands us the key to a door, we go and enter the ballroom. It is a huge hall with ornate ceilings, many staircases, and a big, amazing chandelier. It is, for nigh, broken and reveals the deep underground abyss right under the ballroom floor. This is the moment we meet another new enemy, a very original one here. We may not see it coming, but that's not a problem. These creatures are able to camouflage in various ways, mostly by coloring. They are human baby and insect mutated hybrids. They were created by the one and only Isidro Uriarte Talavera, a local noble person with great affinity for science and biology specifically. He created the black liquid flowing on within the castle, a substance that feeds the plaga organisms. He created them and named them U2 after his own name. His another creation is the Black Robe Monster, one of Ramon's bodyguards. A human persisted with experimentation transformed into perfection. Little do we know that he did it to himself as well, but that's not for now. Once we pass the ballroom, we can pass a drawbridge and enter the infamous antechamber.
Oh, Mr. Kennedy, not much of a knight, are you? Your princess is a mysterious individual. I must say, she gave us a considerable amount of trouble.
This room is very challenging due to the presence of it all, the adult plaga, zealots, and 2 Garadors, but not impossible to go through. This hall is found before the venerable throne room, the main place of the Castellan's residence. This room contains a way down to the castle dungeon where the plaga had been sealed many centuries ago and then freed by the king.
You hurt?
Please, do continue. Do not resist, my dear. It serves only to make you suffer all the worse.
You sick!
Aquí nos despedimos, Señor Kennedy.
Ashley is fed the black liquid and Leon is thrown down a hall. He manages to survive and is on his way up. When he leaves the dungeon, this is the part that paralyzes people with fear. We need to operate the elevator and we need to turn on the power. The right hand of Salazar is on our ass. Talavera transformed himself into what is the Red Robe and is a killing machine. The Verdugo, or Executioner, is doing what it can to pierce us with its sharp tail, kick us, and use its big claws to make us appear more dead. We are offered the comfort of liquid nitrogen to freeze the dude up and smash him into a million pieces. We may use an infinite rocket launcher, or 2 separately bought rocket launchers, or even a knife dude. After we go up into the castle again, we can head for the clock tower, a place inspired by Mario Bros 2001. We have to face zealots, mutations, a fire-breathing Gundam, spiky spheres rolling down the stairs, an infected elevator, and explosives to get to the top. But we do it. We're Leon fucking Kennedy. We see the merchant one more time before entering the final battle of the area. We fight Ramon Salazar in all his flying glory.
And so, I have delivered the girl to you as promised. Do tell our lord to not forget the loyalty of his servant, Ramon.
Ashley!
Such a fool, Mr. Kennedy. To have been bestowed with Lord Sattler's
You talk too much.
failed.
You vulgar,
Utterly uncivilized! Mongrel!
This is the most challenging boss fight. Ramon uses acid, he's fast, throws exploding rats at us, he has many ways to fuck us up. There is an easy way to bring him down. Use 2 golden eggs on him and he's gone. You may find one in a throne room and one by the lake. After we collect his most beloved treasure, Lip Rouge, we leave the castle and head for the island. I will not cover much of the island because it is all very similar. We must go through a fortress to enter the ancient sanctuary, defeat Sadler, and perform a procedure to free ourselves from the parasite. After all that, we escape the exploding island on a jet ski. Resident Evil 4 is an iconic experience. The remake did what the 2005 version could not, visually, accessibility-wise, and gameplay-wise. We can now move and aim. The music is much smoother and optimized in a more high-end way. My journey began with Resident Evil 4 Remake going down to the classic release. Not only is it a very interesting way to experience the series, but also allows me to dive deep into both games. What I mean is often people in love with the original drop the remake or cannot fully immerse themselves in it. I treat it as one. The story of this game is really good for what RE4 is. There are 2 twists, with Major Krauser and the Plaga. There is a lot to collect in this game. Merchant gives you a chance to scavenge through the village and seek of various collectibles such as pearl pendants, ornate necklace, or depraved idol. Some of them are only unlockable if you have the right item. In the village part, we may find a way shrine key in the caves which allows us to open up small candle-lit way shrines along the way. There is a lot sweet backtracking, intentional and optional. In the castle section, there is a cube that when fit into a very original lock, it grants us a special collectible for sale. There are also different types of special items. Small key, for example. Those one-time use items allow the player to open locked drawers throughout the game. I cannot fathom how satisfactory finding a hidden small key is, how amazing it is to carry it with you during a side quest or a section of a game. My most beloved moment with a small key item is when you can paste them to different drawers. It doesn't matter if the one you got is from another area. I find a small key by completing a small quest, and then later, when I forget about it, I go back to the audience chamber via a thrill ride. Yes, we got him. And I have to defeat the nefarious Red Cloak with his mini army of believers to access the drawer. The gratitude of this small quest is large in its execution. Some collectibles are only available after you complete a puzzle, most notorious one being the hexagon piece puzzle by the lake. You need to find 3 hexagonal pieces. One can be found at the merchant's hideout by the lake. One is obtained in a small cave shrine after solving yet another paint puzzle, and the final one is found in a chest by the fish farm. All of those are easily missable and optional. But what a treat! The hexagonal puzzle is solved differently on each difficulty, there being 4: assisted, standard, hardcore, and professional. The final scene is supposed to portray the lago eating up a stranded human in the water, a very themic view. The merchant will be your best friend during the adventure and will often give you compliments or is just friendly. He will even recognize your flourished efforts in completing a request and reward you right away upon entering his teleporting shop. He will reward you spinels, ranging from 1 to 3 for a request completion. His lines are killers, and this one is one of my all-time favorites.
Took care of a request, did ya? Ha! I can tell by the look on your face.
I love him. He's actually my favorite character. If I could marry someone in RE4, you know I will be stacking up on rocket launchers. Ayy. The game's add-ons allow you to receive an expanded map treasure, which not only allows you to see more treasures, but it makes more treasure appear in-game. Yes, more treasure. Yes, more collectibles. Yes.
Welcome back, stranger.
One of the most iconic collectibles in the history of the world must be the Clockwork Castellans. Those little ungrateful wind-up dolls are the reason people lose their minds and wake up in isolation cells on a Sunday. There is one mother cracker in each chapter. In the first one, the doll is found in a shack from which a ganado is tossing dynamite at you by the lake settlement. The second one, okay, the Napoleons yourself, dude. It is divine when you see 16 out of 16 Clockwork Castellans complete and the achievement pops up. Revolution Wind Up. The game healing system looks pretty much the same like in the previous entries. You get first aid spray, green herbs, red herbs, yellow herbs, fish, eggs, and beetles, all to heal you up. You may create a green red yellow herb mixture to heal you up and also enlarge your HP bar. Eat a gold egg and you'll be on your feet faster than running from upper echelon as a servant. Eat a beetle to max your HP or sell it. You can upgrade weapon durability, cartridge capacity, range, power, and reload speed at the merchants. Maxing out a weapon allows you to max it up with an exclusive upgrade ticket or simply by throwing money at it. Each weapon has a special superpower that comes with it. My handgun, for instance, the Punisher, can shoot through 5 targets with 1 bullet. Some weapons get infinite ammo or double the power. You suit yourself, stranger. There is a variety of weapons here. Chicago Sweeper, Punisher, Red 9, Stingray, Bolt Thrower, Broken Butterfly, or Killer 7. I love the submachine gun TMP. Perfect. You can compare, sell, or keep them. The inventory system is amazing with 5 different attaché cases: silver, black, golden, classic, and leather. Some of them have special functions, as in a classic one brings you more gunpowder. I love going through the campy intro, into the forest dark, through the hunter's lodge, and into the village square. I love that Ada rings a bell to save us, although we can do it ourselves. We leave the village only to enter a big castle, majority of which had been cut anyway. Just imagine how grand it is. I wish the game concluded in a more creative way. I would love to see the final act out in the heart of it all, the village. You have to get into this game. Resident Evil 4 is a game that I will never forget. Probably in 10-20 years, we will get another reimagination of this entry. I will be waiting for it. I enjoy the music, ambience, enemies, interactions, quests, and everything. Resident Evil 4 is a masterpiece that not many studios can achieve. It is not a perfect game, unfortunately, but close to it. I guess I have to make a game for it to be perfect. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this extensive conversation about how Biohazard RE4 is amazing. Tell me what you think about this game. I wonder if you enjoy it on PS5 like me, because I love the controller and what it does. Being in a game is fantastic. Remember to have a great day, and I hope to see you next time.
come back anytime.